From a Buccaneers fan's perspective, this has to be the weirdest offseason I've had with any of my sports teams whatsoever. I kind of feel like I'm at the beginning part of a dream right before I wake up where everything is working out perfectly. I mean, I wouldn't say perfectly. I still have some reservations. Part of that is just being a Buccaneers fan. You just kind of always worry things are going to go wrong. But you know what? I mean, listen, it's if nothing else, it's a lot of fun. We have Tom Brady and now we have Rob Gronkowski, and it's very interesting. But one thing I do want to talk about is that I don't think Gronkowski is washed up by any means. To me, this reminds me a little bit of the when the Raiders decided to trade for Marshawn Lynch, where they gave up really basically nothing to get Marshawn Lynch. Lynch had publicly said that he was only going to play for Oakland, and so that kind of gave Oakland and Marshawn all the leverage. I wouldn't be surprised if something similar happened here with Gronkowski, but a lot of people forget Lynch wasn't that bad when he played for Oakland. I think a lot of people think that he was a lot worse than he actually was. He ended up rushing for 4.3 yards per carry, and he had nearly 900 rushing yards. So, he definitely was solid. He wasn't anything spectacular. He wasn't classic beast mode, but, he's a career 4.2 yards per carry running back. His yards per carry has never been huge, largely because he has a lot of short yardage runs, but anyways, let's get into Rob Gronkowski. I want to start off with this play. It's going to be a cover one play right here, and that's going to be Rob Gronkowski's route. But if you notice, there are two defensive players who are going to be covering him here. This is a double team, and not just with two guys on him, but what they're actually going to do is they're going to create some contact. I mean, watch. Look, at this point, it's almost like a punt return right here where he's having contact right here. It's very difficult to get through. So this is a tough situation for Gronkowski, obviously. But one thing that he did so well 2 years ago for the Patriots was he just had strength. And watch how he is able to muscle his way free. Brady makes a very good throw, but Gronkowski's able to make that grab, which that's not easy to do whatsoever. I mean, that's just strength right there. And that's the kind of thing that he's been able to do his entire career, is just beat guys with his power. His power is something that I think a lot of us realize Gronkowski has, and, he does it very well. But another interesting thing about that power is the fact that he doesn't necessarily rely on it, I mean, even if it doesn't work out, he can still find ways to get open or just to make a catch. Like on this play, this is going to be a cover one play. This was in the AFC Championship game where he played such a big role. That's going to be his route, just a deep route towards the sideline. This is in the fourth quarter. They need a touchdown here to take the lead. And what's going to happen is that right after the ball is snapped, you notice he's going to try to create some contact, try to see if you can use that to get open. But it doesn't really work out as well as you'd want. I mean, you look and there's some separation, but not a ton of separation. I mean, yes, a perfect ball, and this is going to be a completion, but this actually is not going to be a perfect throw from Brady. Brady's going to throw it a little bit too shallow. So Gronkowski's going to have to come back. The one advantage that Gronkowski has is that his assigned man is not facing the ball. So Gronkowski can see the ball, whereas his defender can't. So that's definitely a massive advantage. But at the same time, watch how he reaches up and is able to go up and make that catch. And that was a huge play in that game. I mean, really a tremendously big play in that game. I mean, that was a 3rd down and 5 with the Patriots down 4 with a minute left in the fourth quarter. So if he doesn't make that play, there's like greater than a 50% chance that they lose the game. I mean, a pretty big chance that they lose the game, actually. So definitely a really good play from Gronkowski. And also, as I'm sure some of you noticed, but just to let everyone know, every play I'm showing is from the last year we saw of Gronkowski. I think there was kind of a narrative that he's been washed up. That's what it was his last season, which is partially maybe why he retired. But I don't think that narrative is totally true. I think he didn't quite have the consistency that he has had in past years, but he definitely played really well, and his speed was still there, which to me says that you still got it if your speed is still there. Like a play like this, it's a cover 2 man, and that's going to be his route. Keep in mind that there's a linebacker going against him. They don't want to give away what the play is, so since it's going to be a linebacker who is currently, inside of the tackles, Gronkowski is currently outside of the tackles. I mean, obviously, but the fact that he's going to be moving away from him like that, it does give an advantage, but still watch how he's able to sort of just blow by him and get wide open. Again, Brady makes the throw. They get a big completion there. Part of that was Brady just noticed what was going on and made such a quick throw, but The other part of it was Gronkowski's, he still has his speed, at least to some degree. So receiving wise, I mean, let's be honest, I think he's great. I think that he will still be good. I don't think he will be as good as he once was, but you know what? He had multiple 100-plus yard seasons his last year, and he also had over 75 yards in his last 2 games that we've seen him in. So he definitely has some value in the receiving game, but quite frankly, where I think this decision really helps Tampa Bay is going to be in the rushing game. I think that having a good run-blocking tight end can be very valuable. I mean, quite frankly, this is the guy who could be the Buccaneers' starting right tackle. I mean, he would legitimately probably win that role if that's what he did. He's that good. So, obviously, he won't be doing that. But the fact that they now have a good run blocking tight end will do a ton. And that was a huge reason they were able to win Super Bowl 53 against the Rams. And watch, here's an example of it where he's going to be going up one-on-one against 50 right there, the linebacker. And basically what Gronkowski's job is he's going to try to get his left arm right there on the right shoulder pad area. And watch how well he's going to pull this off. He is able to just grab on, and you can't really even blame 50 that much because they both tried to do the same thing. But Gronkowski's arms are just longer, He's 6'7". He has that wingspan that he's able to reach out and he's able to get it quicker. And he's able to just turn like that. And at this point, I mean, what can you do if you're an LA player? Just the positioning is too much. And as you see, it works out very well for New England. This play is another good example where what's going to happen is that's where he is. And I love this play, even though the play itself isn't necessarily spectacular. And the reason why it's not spectacular is watch how he's going to get pushed pretty immediately. See how he gets pushed back like that? So he gets pushed back a couple of yards. And by the way, as I'm sure you probably noticed, this was the go-ahead touchdown that ended up winning the game. So clearly a big play, but you look at Gronkowski here, and you might think, okay, he's in trouble. He's getting pushed back. But notice how, despite the fact that he was getting pushed back, he was still able to get that left foot back far enough. So now at this point, he can kind of recover. He is able to hold on, finish off that play. He even gets blocked a little bit after the play, but notice how he does a fist bump afterwards. I love that. I think that kind of just goes to show the mentality of people who are winners and have won multiple Super Bowls and people that haven't to some degree is, pushing somebody after giving up a go-ahead touchdown in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. That happens. I'm not going to get on somebody for that. But I like the mentality of Gronkowski gets pushed like that and then still just fist bumps because he's happy they scored a touchdown. Doesn't really care about the, stuff that happened after the play was over. And I think that kind of, again, that is one of the many things I think he will bring to Tampa Bay is the fact that he's a winner. He's somebody who has, I hate the he's a winner term in terms of like thinking that that's the only reason you should bring somebody on, but that is an added benefit. I mean, he's somebody who can go into that, tight end room, which is now pretty full with Cameron Brate and also with O.J. Howard, and he can just kind of say, like, maybe O.J. Howard, who has struggled a little bit and hasn't quite lived up to his potential, maybe he could actually help Howard and be a helpful coach to him. I think having guys like Gronkowski and Brady who are kind of like, okay, we're down, let's just try to get our groove going, try to get back up, that can help a lot of these guys who, quite frankly, there's a lot of people in Tampa Bay who haven't seen much success or any success, really. I mean, this team hasn't made the playoffs since 2007. The most recent quarterback to lead Tampa Bay to the postseason was Jeff Garcia, which is just crazy. I mean, it truly is, and they haven't won a playoff game since 2002, which was the Super Bowl. So definitely they could use some winners in that clubhouse. The one downside, the one thing I don't love about this move, quite frankly, is the $10 million cap hit. That's something I don't love. I feel like maybe it's possible you could find better ways to use that money, but maybe they just didn't feel like they could find anything better. And quite frankly, clearly Tampa Bay, they're looking to win right now. That's what they're doing. This might not necessarily be a massive position of need, but hey, it definitely has value. And, listen, you could run 3 tight end sets with O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate if you really wanted to. I have a feeling that they're going to probably move O.J. Howard with this trade, I think, or with this signing. I think that's probably what will happen. But I don't know. They could decide to keep them and just sort of rotate them out consistently. I mean, maybe part of the deal with Gronkowski coming back is he doesn't take that many snaps so he can stay healthy. Maybe that's part of it. Or maybe you just don't want him to take that many snaps so he can play a full season and be effective come playoff time if we make it to the playoffs. Because quite frankly, I'm still not ready to say this is a playoff team just because I'm a Buccaneers fan, and that's how Buccaneers fans think. It's not our fault. We've been bad for a while. But let me know what you think. Do you guys like this move? Do you think it's a bit of a too high of a cap hit? That's kind of my biggest fear. Do you think he could be sort of just like I said, kind of like a Marshawn Lynch when he came back, an effective player but not the beast he once was? Or do you think he could even come back and reach his full potential? There's a lot of different ways I could see this going, but it definitely is going to be fun to watch. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.